Yep, so here's the next part on my Tamiya Avante. So just doing a refurbishment on this car. So you'll see on the first video, just did the unboxing of it. This weekend I've been quite busy on it, which is cool. Really liking it. So yep, it's all working. So what I did is so I'll just give it a refurbishment. So I obviously didn't have any electronics with it apart from the motor. So took out the motor, took out all the gears front and back. Obviously took the wheels off, took all the wheel bearings off as well, pretty much leaving me, and the axles, pretty much leaving me with a bare chassis. So I rebuilt the motor, which I've got, there's a video on YouTube for that, which basically means cleaning the part where the brushes go, checking and lightly oiling the bearing, make sure the bearings weren't knackered, they seem good, putting on a new pinion on it, adjust the timing back to standard, so that's fine. I've got electronics here, so what I've decided to do is I decided to use electronics out of my lunchbox, so that way I can upgrade my lunchbox, which is a car that I use a lot more often, with 2.4 gigahertz. I'm trying to go for most of my stuff with now. So I thought, you know what, I'll stick in the 27 meg and the old 101 speed controller into this car, and as the fact that this one had knackered wires on, I then just soldered it straight to it. Obviously I know I can go a bit shorter here, which I might do. I'll see, but it's fine. It's all good, you know. So that's nice. I couldn't use the Tamiya servo that came with it. The screw had been turned in and out, so when I got it, you know, the service cable was over one side, and it just slipped. It just obviously slipped round because you couldn't tighten the screw onto the splines. So the whole thing just sort of moved basically. So I've kept it. I'll see if I can do anything with it. So I'm not going to throw it away unless I absolutely have to. Fitted a Futaba one in, an old school Futaba one in there. So then, once I had all the bits and pieces off, the gears off, the axles off, bearings out, all that sort of stuff, I then was left over pretty much with a bare chassis. So what I did is I just sprayed it with kitchen cleaner, sort of bathroom cleaner, degreaser, you know, agitated it with a paintbrush, sprayed it again, and then ultimately soaked it in hot water with ferroliquid and brushed it and all that sort of stuff, and then patted it dry, the chassis, and then just dried it off with my garage hot air gun. And it came out, you know, decent. So that's cool. So it's all nice and clean. And then I just rebuilt it last night. So I cleaned all the gears in white spirit, oiled all the bearings, rebuilt both of the diffs on it as well, and they're all completely fine. The main gear here, where the pinion goes, was about two thirds was good, 1/3 was damaged, obviously from previous owners and all that sort of stuff. Luckily, I happen to have a spare gear in my box of bits for Tamiya's. I've kind of got someone obviously must have brought, you know, all the gears at one point, because I've still got most of the gears spare. So yeah, put that in. Obviously cleaned the took apart the differential part there with the ball bearings on, cleaned it, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's all good. Reassembled it, put it together last night. It's all good. I didn't have an under tray, so I found this spare Avante under tray here, which needed some repairs, which I never used before. Needed some repairs here. So obviously I tried to glue it, but glue just won't be strong enough, so I put additional bolt on here. So basically it's exactly the same as the other side, the back's fine. So that's cool. I then took apart the steering mechanism here and noticed that the little washers underneath these were missing, so I replaced those, and obviously I cleaned it and lightly greased it all, and the steering system is pretty sweet, I would say. We know the front end has issues, so the bumper was bent right round. So basically I put it in a vise, gently heated it with the garage hot air gun, and then stretched it out straighter. You can see that this isn't attached because I'm missing there's a modification on here, so you can see that these uprights here lean in at an angle. So it's either a modification that the previous owner did for an actual racing benefit, to give maybe some better towing or something, or better angle of wheels or something like that, you know, or possibly more likely maybe something broke on there and he couldn't get hold of it. So anyway, I've ordered the right bit. So it cost me £10, which is a bargain. The silicone bit in the middle, and then the two metal parts here. Then these ball joints here, then bolt to them, and then obviously that means then that these uprights are then level here. And once they're level, that means the roll bars, the anti-roll bars in the right place, and then I can clamp it down. And then if it's too tight or too loose or whatever, I can heat and adjust this bumper a little bit. I think it's meant to be down a bit like that, but nothing too much. Took out again, and also that means as well then that the shock absorbers will be at the right angle rather than slanted back. So right now they're slanted back, and I know that these work. It's just the angle. It's just bad angle. It's just not right. So and I should say I filled these with I emptied and refilled these with oil. So that should sort that out. So that's all coming probably tomorrow or Wednesday. So yeah, that's just sort of front end out. Fixed the driver. So just put the little pin here, plastic pin was missing. So I heated up a bit of metal, pushed it into the sort of plastic part here, and now the driver is solid. It won't move. So that's cool. I've asked on the Tamiya forums if anyone's got a knackered old rear spoiler they want to sell me, because I don't like this one here, so I want another one of those. And I've asked if anyone's got any leftover stickers, because obviously that needs some stickers as well. Obviously I know I can go and buy a spoiler and a body shell and under tray. I think it's about 30 quid plus paint, and obviously I can get all these bits and bobs here and buy stickers. I think so, if only 15 quid for stickers, it's all, you know, reasonable, but I don't particularly want to go out and spend another 55, 60 quid on bits if I can get away with somebody having a spare old spoiler that I can buy off them for, you know, for a fiver, and someone has some leftover stickers that they want to sell me as well. Otherwise, in, you know, next month I will go out and buy all the bits and pieces, you know, and sort of do it really box art and all that sort of stuff, or transfer the shell from one of my other Avantis onto this one, and then box art my best Avante, you know. But yeah, all is good. So I've got the Marday tyres on here, which are cool. Yeah, and otherwise it's all good. So inside there it's lovely, inside there it's absolutely lovely, all looks pretty sweet. So I turn it on. Oh, and I'm missing like the battery here, the battery retainer. But again, I know I can go and buy this, but I don't want to go out and buy a whole tree for 15, 20 quid. So if I can you know, eventually find someone who's got a spare one, or, you know, a partially complete tree that's for, you know, for £7 or £8, add that on, and that's what I'll do. Cool. Switch it on there. Check the steering. Nice. And there we go, all looking really nice. So yeah, I can now use it, and actually I even like modified this. So this one, he had a metal aerial out of it, so I put it in a vise, managed to unscrew the metal aerial, and then tapped it through the bottom, put a little line up there on the side to fit the aerial through. Just to, again, saves me having to spend out sort of £5 or £6 for, you know, that type of spec one. So if you can reuse stuff, it's all good. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I'm gonna have a little run around the garden now, and then ultimately just wait for those bits when they arrive, lob those on, and then yeah, and then just look out for the spoiler and the sticker, and that's. Thank you, all the best, cheers.